TopNotch Legal Bulletin. Today we're going to discuss online contracts. If you're new in business, you've often put out a lot of money and you've got at risk your personal capital. Often it could be the family home. So it's really important that you have good, strong contracts to protect that investment. Now, it's very easy today to buy contracts online or to copy them from someone else. But I've come across a couple of scenarios in my own practice that have caused me some concern, and I thought it was worth discussing those today. So the first one was Frank, who called me out of the blue one day, having been referred to me because he wanted a lease. He said he needed a commercial lease. So I asked him what the circumstances were, and he explained that he was a professional. He could have been a dentist, he could have been a chiropractor, but it's not important to the story. But he bought rooms in Bendigo, and one of those rooms was a spare room that he was going to hire out to another professional for 2 days a week. The other 3 days of the week, Frank was going to use the room. So he said that that was why he needed the lease. I explained to him that this is not a lease, this is a license. But he wouldn't accept that. So I sent him something in writing to explain, and I never heard from him again. What happened to him, I don't know, but maybe he purchased a lease, well, what he thought was a lease online. But whatever he signed up, if he called it a lease, it was not a lease. The other situation was a client who called me one day to draw up some standard agreements for his business. Now, he had been in business for several years at that time, and he explained that he'd started out by copying someone else's contract, someone else who had a business very similar to his. And over time, he'd seen a clause here or there that he thought was really good and that it would add something to his contract. So he just added these clauses into his contract. But also, as time went by, he became a little bit more knowledgeable and thought that perhaps he might have some exposure and should get his own contracts drawn up, and now he was ready. So I asked him to show me what he'd been using, and what I found was that there were a lot of clauses, or quite a few clauses within the contract that were inconsistent with one another, which meant that he was exposed quite largely, actually. So there are numerous contracts that you can buy online, and some of them are really excellent, but you will often find the better ones will come with long lists of instructions, and you almost need a legal degree to mine your way through those instructions. As a business owner, I always say you need to focus on what you're good at. You need to focus on building your business. And at TopNotch Legal, we say wisdom is the principal thing. And if you're going to be wise, get the right people alongside you, the people with the right skill base who are good at what they do. If you go to a lawyer, you might say, well, that's going to cost me a lot of money, that's rather expensive. But expensive compared to what? If you have a contract that leaves you exposed, you could lose everything. That's expensive. Or you might end up in a court fighting over something. That's expensive. Compared to getting a lawyer to sign up a standard contract for you, I would say it's relatively cheap. And if you go to a lawyer, you'll get your own template that you can use over and over again, unlike insurance that you have to renew and pay for every year. So get wisdom. And that's all for now on this topic from us at TopNotch Legal. We take care of business.